is coming inside, and when you have good installation, so there is no gap between your window and the wall. That gap between the window and the wall is sealed perfectly. So the air won't come inside from the gap between your wall and the window. Then thermal insulation. Of course, if there is a gap between your wall and the window and the gap is not being sealed properly, then heat would come inside. In case of a good insulation, it will be giving better thermal insulation. And then similar case, water will come inside, and in a good insulation case, water won't be coming inside. Sound leakage, of course, if there is gap between the wall and the window and it's not being filled properly, sealed properly, then sound will also enter inside. Whereas in a good insulation, your the gap is perfectly sealed, so sound won't be also coming through those gaps. So this is the reason why we are emphasizing on a good installation, because what is the ultimate requirement of the client from the UPVC windows? That they should be soundproof, they should be airproof, they should be dustproof. But if you haven't done the installation properly, then it won't be giving any solution to these issues. So these UPVC windows would be good as nothing. So installation doesn't start, okay, at the site when you are ready to install the windows. It starts much before that. If you will plan everything prior, then that will help you save lot of time and lot of money as well. So installation thing, you have to, just a second please, let me just put my phone on silent. Okay. So all this planning has to be done the moment your order is finalized. Okay. So firstly, what you do, you have to go for the initial survey. In the initial survey, there are so many things which you need to check, which we'll learn right now. And then after once the initial survey is done, okay, this is we're talking about when the client has paid you the advance money. Now you know that this order is yours. So then you have to go for the initial survey, initial site survey first, and the final measurements. And then you have to get those final measurements approved from your client, because all the things which are in the quotation and the measurements and everything, before putting it into production, always take the final approval from the client, his signature or anything, so that you have a proof that yes, it's been approved by you, so that later on sometimes it happens that the client says no. Because when you go for verbal thing and you tell your client that sir, this is the issue and can we do this, and then there the client will say yes. But later on, many clients, what they do, once all the things are done and the payment thing is coming near, and you ask for the final payment and all, and then they will bring that issue, see what you have done, and they will clearly say no, I haven't approved that. So it's and especially when there are some changes from the original plan, never forget to take signatures and approvals from your client, that too in written, maybe in a WhatsApp message, on an email, or on a hard copy. Always take approvals from clients so that there are no issues. No issues would occur in the future that can make any hindrance during the final payments. And then your once client approval is done, you make the windows, you send them to the site where they are unloaded and stored, and then this final installation process goes on. And then after installation is done, first your team should go and check everything, all the windows have been installed properly or not, all the handles are fine, every window is working properly. So all these things first you must check, and whatever things you think that is missing, put that, and then after that call your client for the final approval, show him every window, take a signature on the paper or something, have a format for that. And then, and once everything is checked, everything is done, your client would can't say anything afterwards or during the final payment. So make everything clear. So what are, as I've told you, the initial survey is very important. Okay. So before start making your windows and all, first you must do the initial site survey. So what are the things that you must see and notice while taking the initial site survey? Firstly, your all four cavities are plastered properly or not. Okay. So your all the four sides of the cavities, top, side, left, bottom, should be plastered properly. For example, if you're let's see in the next one. For example, now see there. Sometimes what happens that your opening is not in perfect square. Okay, there is diagonal difference. So what happens there? There is a very much there is big problem comes while installing windows, and especially in aligning the windows. Therefore, if the diagonal is greater than 10 mm, okay, what is a diagonal? When you will measure it in this vertex to this vertex and C to D and A to B. So you need to measure the opening and then so A to B and C to B. So if you will minus AB minus CD should never come more than 10 mm, because it will be, if it will be more than 10 mm, then that will be huge problem while fixing and aligning your windows. In fixed window still it won't be a big problem, but it will, this diagonal will be creating a huge problem. This diagonal reference will be creating huge problem in case of sliding windows and casement also. Whenever a panel is there, then this locking thing creates a problem. Okay, when there is no, when your cavity is not in a proper alignment. So always try key the diagonal difference should be less than 10 mm, and if it's going beyond 10 mm, then you must tell your client that your diagonal difference is more, so please get it rectified. So he will ask his a mason and all to rectify his opening. Okay, so AB minus CD should be less than 10 mm. Okay, so as you can see, sometimes what happens now, there is a stone, a marble or a granite or anything which needs to come here. And then when you are at the site for the final measurement, at that time that a marble or granite is not there. And you take the height of the window, the size of the window without this marble or granite. Okay, and you make your window according to the size which you have taken. And when you take the window, when your windows are at the side and ready for installation, and then what you see, that your window is bigger than the opening, because now there is a stone, a marble or granite, which was not earlier there. So always confirm while taking the measurements that is there any marble or granite coming or not. Okay. So if they are going to come, then please try to take the measurement once this stonework is done. And if the client is saying no, then the windows will come late and this and that, then take the exact size of the marble which is going to come above your window level, that this much then you have to subtract from the height of the window. But on that also, please do take written confirmation from the client or the site supervisor that he is giving this measurement which should be subtracted from the original cavity size, and I'm making the windows according to that. Okay. So whatever you are doing, especially which are things are which are going out of the way, please do not forget to take written permissions and written everything, so that no nothing no problem occurs in the future, because it can of course happen that at that time the site supervisor will tell you, okay, subtract 10 mm, and then later on, because you don't have any proof for that, and later on here, if the size doesn't matches, then he'll say, no, I haven't told you that, I told you 12 mm. Then what proof you have at that time? So in these type of cases, never forget to take the signatures approvals from the client or the site supervisor. Then the next thing which you need to consider is electricity supply is available or not. Okay, that at all the and especially when it is a multi-floor, always see that the wherever the windows have to be installed nearby, there are electricity supply is available or not. And if not, then you have to ask your client prior only that how I'm going to get electricity supply at this point. So he has to arrange all that beforehand. And if you have to arrange, then you can ask for some extra cost. So whatever you have to do, so you need to decide all this before sending your windows to the site. And then you have to also see that your windows could be taken to the respective location easily. If you remember the thing which I told you yesterday, that if you're going for a big huge window and big huge glass, and you don't even see that how we are going to take that a big window and the glass to the location, that at the time of installation you'll be wondering that what to do, and then you would have to bear extra expenses at the last moment. So that's why before during the final measurements, and especially, in fact, I will also tell you ki, before finalizing the order, always see if the windows can be taken to the respective location or not. As I've told you, to see if there is material lift available or not, the staircase is broad enough to carry all your windows and all. Scaffolding. Sometimes are windows, there is no possible way to fix them from inside. So we need scaffolding at times. Then you need to also prior your finalization during your order finalization, you have to see that scaffolding is required or not. And if required, then who is going to bear the price and all for the scaffolding. Now let's come now. Next step, once your initial survey, now what has done? Now you have gone to the client, site. You have seen everything. You have taken initial survey is done. And now you are going to do the final measurements. So the wrong way is that you just take one width and one height. That is the wrong way for the final measurements. Okay, why it is a wrong way in final measurements? Because in India, we never have an opening which is symmetrical. Okay, there would be a difference. The width and height throughout the wall of the window won't be same. It will vary. That's why the right way is to take three widths and three heights. Okay, from the side, from the center, and then from the right side you are taking widths, and then from the top, from the center, and at the bottom you are taking three widths. So W1, W2, W3, H1, H2, and H3. And then you will consider minimum of both. So whatsoever is the minimum width out of the three widths, you will take for width, and whatever is the minimum width for heights, you will take it for height. What is the reason? Just because a window, just imagine there is a, okay, let me show you example. Okay, so now we have a opening. Okay, so whose width one, from the top it is 1203, then it is 1205 from the center, and 1206 from the bottom. And if we'll take height, it is 1501 from this side, 1498. I will come to that, please wait. Then 1501 from here, then 1498 from the center, and then 1497 from the right side. So for this, we are going to consider, just a second, 1203 minimum of the width and 1497 minimum of the heights, because a window of 1203 width can fix in 1205 also and 1206 also. But if you will consider the highest one, 1206 width, so can we fix a window of 1206 widths where the width is just 1203? No, we cannot. Okay, so we can fix a smaller width and height window in a larger space, but we cannot install a bigger window in a smaller space. That's why we take minimum of the width and minimum of the heights. Okay, here we are talking about not about the production size, but about the opening size, that from which we have to deduct later. So the opening size that we will consider would be minimum of the three widths and minimum of the three heights. Then after the measurement has been taken and the initial site survey has been done, then you have to take the approval of your client. Again, I'm emphasizing on in return form. Maybe it could be digital or hard copy. That's whatever you prefer. But please take the client approval in return form so that you don't have any trouble or disputes later. Then now the client has approved everything. The windows have gone for production. Now they have been dispatched and now they are being unloaded at the site. So there are also many things which you need to keep in mind while unloading. That while unloading, the corners of the window should not, because if you are doing that fast and you didn't watch that there are some stones or a hard surface which are and especially the corners of the window tend to break very easily, corners. Okay, so please ensure that they are not contacting any hard surface. And then after unloading, kindly check the material from the packing list. Okay, whatsoever packing list has come from the factory, the material has to be checked, and then it need to be get signed by the supervisor that this much material has been unloaded. Okay, so that later on nobody can say that this didn't come. So it's good to to take a signature of the site supervisor about the material which has been unloaded. Then while arranging also, uh, uh, the way the window should be arranged is the bigger windows should be at the back and the smaller windows should be at the front. Okay, so weight wise also it's good, and everything is visible, and while taking out also it's much easier when you arrange it from smaller to bigger. Then now we are coming to installation process. Firstly, foremostly, which we say that there should be always a PPE kit. Okay, your installer should be wearing eyeglasses, helmet, mask. I mean, normally mask many people don't wear. Earplugs maybe not. Safety shoes are very must because normally people go with in slippers and sandals. But safety shoes are must because at site there are things which could fall on your legs and you could get yourself hurt. So it's always good to wear a PPE kit before starting the installation. So a very big important point in our UPVC window installation is the periphery joint. What is the periphery joint? It is the gap between the wall and the window. Okay, there is a gap need to be kept during between your wall and the window, because during height ever, as we all know, all materials they tend to expand in summer and contract in winter. That means expansion when the temperature is high and they contract when the temperature is low. The same thing is true in the case of windows. Of course, it's so minute that we can't see it from our eyes. We can experience it, but it is there. So we need to leave some space around our window, between the wall and the window, for this expansion. And not just for the window, there are a few other things for which we keep this gap. Firstly, of course, for the expansion and contraction of the window. Secondly, uh, in this gap, we need for perfect sealing, because just imagine if there is no gap, okay, just and imagine this also, that your window is not going to expand or contract, okay, and you have made exactly the window exact size of the cavity, okay, and somehow you tend to fix it, okay, you fix that exact sized window in your cavity, then what will happen, okay, from where you are looking, it looks perfectly fine. There is no gap between the wall and the window. But something is there. There is very minute gap which is between the wall and the window. And even if you will fill the silicone, silicone will have no surface to bind itself. Okay, silicone needs a surface where it can bind itself. If there is no gap between the wall and the window, your silicone is not getting any gap to bind itself. So that's why you need to leave this 5 mm on all the sides. Okay, I mean 5 mm is the minimum one. It can be more in the same in the case of huge windows. Okay, so let me come back to the point. So we need this gap because silicon needs a surface to bind itself. Okay, so that's why also. And thirdly, silicon also needs some space for contraction and expansion. If you won't give it proper space, it will crack. So because of these three reasons, we need the space around our window, between the window and the wall. And what Udma says that it should be at least 5 mm. Normally people, 99.9% people follow 3 mm thing. They keep 3 mm gap on all the four sides. But what we suggest, it should be minimum 5 mm, and it can be more if your window is huge, because of course if the window is big, it will expand more. So it would be needing more space for expansion. So here is a question. So we have a window opening here. We have just a second. Let me. I mean, okay, consider it a second. Let me just change to a pen. Okay. So it is W1, W2, and W3. Okay. And it is H1, H2, and H3. So what size you will consider of the cavity? Okay. Don't subtract anything. Only the cavity size. What you will consider. Okay. I've got two answers. I've got two answers. Okay. Width 101. Okay, saying H3. No, H3 and W1 name. Yes. Uh, Mr. Karan Shah, please look now. I think you're confusing somewhere. I think you want to type W3 and H2, right? Yep. Okay. So it will be out of W, we'll have W3, and here we will H2. Okay. So all of you are correct. So correct. Krishna Joshi, correct answer. No, Krishna Joshi. Joshi, it will be H2 would be 1001, not 1003. Okay. Ankit Khanna, correct answer. Acha, हाँ, you then corrected it. Fine. Done. Pramila, correct answer. Okay. Yep. Done. W3H2. Perfect. So this next question is now you have to find the uh, correct opening, and then please consider that peripheral gaps we are considering 5 mm. That means you have to subtract also. So what would be the window size? Okay, this time we are calculating the window size, not the cavity size. Okay, I've got one answer. Okay, correct. More answers, please. Only Mr. Ankit Khanna has answered till now. I'm not seeing any more answers, or my network is slow. Okay, I've got an answer from Ms. Krishna Joshi also. Okay, so the correct answer is 983 by 1292. Okay, why 983? Because as I've told you, peripheral gap, it will be from both the sides. Okay, 5 mm from this also, 5 mm from that side also. If it is a, just a second, if it is a window of, I mean, if the cavity is of size 993 and 1302, then we will take 5 mm here also and 5 mm here also. Okay, and then 5 mm here also and then 5 mm here also. That's why the answer will come to 99983 and 1292. We'll be subtracting 10 mm because 5 5 and then 5 5. Now let's come to anchors. Anchors, what are anchors? Anchors are the part which are being used to fix the window into the wall. So this is the structure of anchor. There is a nylon sleeve, this plastic sleeve as you can see. It is a nylon sleeve which goes into the wall through window or door frame. And then there is the screw which when goes inside, then the sleeves, they kind of open, and both the leaves are open, and they go and lock themselves into the wall. So how this anchor is working? So the sleeve, this goes into the wall. As you can see, here is our frame. The second, let me start the pointer. Huh. So this is our frame. So during the fabrication process only, we make these fastener holes in your frames. Why? Because this hole, because here is reinforcement inside the frame, okay, and at the side to drill this hole is not so easy. That's why there are heavy duty drillers at your factory which drills these fastener holes, so that at the time of installation it would be an easy job just to fix the fasteners through this pre-made fastener holes. So first, this sleeve or jacket is inserted in the wall through the frame, and then you screw this big screw, and then once you screw it, these two leaves, they open and they lock themselves into the wall. So if you will try to pull it, it won't come outside. So you have to undrill the screw first, and then it will come outside once the sleeves come to their original position. So what is a good quality screw? So firstly, this thing, okay, this screw, this metal screw should be at least 5 mm more than the sleeve, because just imagine if it is smaller, then this sleeve, these leaves won't be opening properly. And if this sleeves won't be opening properly, then it won't be locking itself perfectly into the wall. So a good quality fastener should have at least 5 mm, should be bigger than a jacket or your nylon sleeve. Just see, when they're smaller, this sleeve won't be opening fully. And then there are some good quality screws. Just a second. Normally, yes, we do have normally 8 into 100 mm fasteners. Baki to, if you want to know more about fasteners, then we do have our partners, Klimas. There are, I mean, they have a deep knowledge and good knowledge about fasteners, and they're having many options, because there are other companies are not having so many options. They're having many options also, from economical to heavier one. So you can consult them uh, to have more deep, good knowledge about fasteners. What material? They're having many options. Okay, they're having many options. Recently I have, I mean, because they were one of our sponsors in the recent installation workshops. So yeah, they are having huge variations in the types of fasteners. Best is, I mean, the sleeve is made of nylon, and this screw should be SS. Okay, SS screws are very good. So this should be virgin nylon sleeves are considered to be good, of virgin material nylon, and the sleeve should be sorry, the screw should be SS. There are nylon sleeves which are made of recycled material also, but what happens with them now? Because at the site, 90% what you have to do now, because the alignment is not proper on the one go. You need to take out the fasteners at least 1 to 2 times to realign the frame, especially in case of sliders. So at that time, if this is a recycled poor quality of sleeves material, then what happens? If you will take out the screw and then you will try to remove it, then it will break. A good quality screw and this fastener, even after removing the screw, the nylon sleeve will easily come out and it won't be breaking. And at the same time, what happens with the recycled one, while inserting also, because they have not been tested properly, while inserting also, they tend to bend, and then you have to use another fastener. So yes, the material should be nylon sleeve, that to be of virgin material, not of recycled one, and the screws are of SS, so that they don't catch rust later. Because if they will catch rust, then what will happen? These screws, they are touching your uh, reinforcement, and somehow that can go into your reinforcements also. So what is a role of anchors? Anchors are not just fixing your window into the wall. The main role they are doing is transferring the load of the window into the wall. So if, just imagine, this is a wall of a flat which is on 10th floor, okay, and right now wind is blowing at a very fast pace, as a very fast speed, an entire load is coming and it is shaking this window. Okay. So what will happen? Entire this load which is falling on the window will be transferred to the wall through these anchors, through these fasteners. So that's why these anchors or fasteners play a very big role in the safety. So what are the main anchors fixing steps? First, you drill the hole into the wall, then you clean it through a blower so that any dust, because of course when you will be drilling it, there would be dust inside. So clean it with the blower. Then you insert your sleeve, then you put your frame on that, and then you drill your screw in that. And one more thing, your this, as you can see, this hole now which you are drilling, it should be also a few bigger than your anchors. There should be some space there. It shouldn't be exactly as the same size of your anchor. It should be little bigger than your anchor. Now next is our U packer. What are the U packers? They're packers. They're of U shape and they are mainly used to maintain the gap between the wall and the frame and to align the windows. So normally their thickness, they're available in 1 mm, 3 mm and 5 mm. And the width of the packer should be same as the width of the frame so that it would be evenly supporting the frame, because the weight of the frame, especially at the bottom packers, is coming on the packer only. So make sure that the width of the packer is same as your frame, and you can make the appropriate thickness of the packer as per your requirement. For example, if you need 4 mm, then you will mix one mm and then one 3 mm. If you need 6 mm, you will go with 5 plus 1. If you want 8 mm, then you can add 5 plus 3 mm. So you can adjust the required thickness with the number of your packers. And these packers are used at every fastener you are using. Okay, apart from that, of course you can put a packer, but wherever a fastener is coming, you need to put a packer. That is mandatory. Why? Now just imagine, okay, that you are fixing the fastener without a packer. So what will happen? The gap which I have told you, you must maintain. It won't be maintained because the moment you will screw it, it will go towards the wall. So there would be no gap between the wall and the frame, and your uh, frame would tend to bend. Okay, it will bend at that place where now you are not using a packer under your fastener. So wherever you are giving a fastener, you tend to give a packer. So normally this is uh, the location of your packers, 150 mm from both the sides, and then in the center you will try to make maximum 300 to 400 gap. If it is coming more, then you should increase the number of fasteners. But this is the case when you are using good quality fasteners, and if in case you are using light quality fasteners, then you tend to increase the number of fasteners. And the framing position, okay, that where should we place the frame? It is the wall, and this red part is the brick, and this gray part is your concrete. So while fixing a frame, while inserting your fasteners, you need to make sure, because some people they want the window on the edge. Then what happens? Your fastener tend to go in the, I mean, it doesn't go in the brick. It stays in the concrete only. And as you can feel and as you can imagine, that a mere wind pressure on your window and the fastener can come out from the concrete, because in concrete there is nothing to hold the packer, sorry, the fastener. So please make sure that the fastener goes inside the brick. Okay, the fastener should go inside the brick. Then only it will get some material to hold it, and it will be giving strength and transferring all the load to the wall. So please ensure that the fastener goes into the brick, okay, and doesn't just stay in the concrete. Sealants. So we have talked about packers, we have talked about fasteners. So another very important part of our ceiling window is the sealant. So what sealant is doing? Sealant is sealing the gap between your window and the wall. This 5 mm or more gap which we are keeping between our wall and the window is being filled by the sealants. So what are the roles which are performed by a sealant? That it is acting as the barrier gap, weather barrier to the seal, to seal the window perimeter area from the exterior to interior. Of course, it is sealing the window, and it is creating a barrier from exterior to interior, and it's helping in insulating the window and maintaining the temperature of the window inside. It is giving you thermal, sound insulations, and completes the window insulation. So normally the types of sealants are silicone and acrylic sealants. In silicone sealants also we have two types of sealants, acetoxy and neutral. In acetoxy are not at all good for UPVC. So we won't be going with acetoxy silicone sealants because they are acidic. They release acetic acid on cure. So once they will start drying, then they will be releasing acetic acid, which is not good for your health and which are not good for your windows also, because they can react with your window. So these are not at all suitable for UPVC windows. Neutral sealant, of course, it is the best sealant for UPVC windows and doors. They're not releasing alcohol in cure, and but a neutral silicone is not paintable. We are having one more sealant that is called acrylic sealants. Earlier, they were only suitable for interiors, but nowadays, now acrylic sealant are coming, which are suitable for exterior also. Nowadays, also, I think McCoy also is also making, and other companies would be also making. Now, the acrylic sealant is also coming when they are suitable for exterior also. One thing which is good with acrylic sealant is they are paintable. So especially when they're in interiors, so they can be painted matching on the paint of the walls. And if there are cracks and all, that also could be filled with these sealants, and then you can paint it. So acrylic sealants are paintable and neutral sealants are not. So as I've told you, we won't going for general purpose sealant. We will general purpose sealants are not so good. Their life is also less, and so we'll be always going for neutral silicone in the case of our UPVC windows. So how to apply your silicone? First, you need to clean the perimeter, okay? Because all this drilling and all have left lots of dust on your window surface also, as well as on the wall surface also. And if you will be applying silicone on that surface where already so much dust is there, then your silicone won't be binding. It won't bind because of that dust. So for proper binding, we need the surface to be clean. Okay. So either with the help of brush, if you're not having a blower there, no problem. You can clean the opening with the help of brush also. Then once the silicone is done, you need to, I mean, normally what we do, people clean it with a packer. So it could be done with a packer, but what we prefer is to do it with a spatula. It will give a much more cleaner surface to you. So before even before applying the silicone, okay, I mean we don't directly go for silicone. We have two more options which we need to do before applying silicone. Actually, out of these two, we have to go for one. So before application of silicone, you have to go for a backer rod or a PU form. When the gap is lesser than 10 mm, then first you apply backer rod on all the four sides, and then you put the silicone on both the sides, interior also and exterior also. Okay, first you are inserting the backer rod in the gap between the wall and your window, and then you are applying the silicone in the exterior side and on the interior side, and then you will of course clean it. And backer rod, if there is, it is always used 1 mm greater. If the gap is of 5 mm, you will be using a backer rod of 6 mm, because we need to give it's kind of squeezy. So when you will insert it, it will compress. So we need to give it some space so that it compresses itself. That's only it will give you perfect sealing. So, and one more benefit of using backer rod is after you use backer rod, the surface area required for using silicone, it reduces. Okay, so if you're using backer rod, you're using less quantity of sealant, silicone. And secondly, with backer rod, as you can imagine, okay, that gap between the wall and the window is being sealed properly. Okay, there is this foam type material which is in there, and it will stop the sound to come, the air flow to come. So it will give you better insulation, and as well as the quantity of the silicone you're using, it reduces. Then there are some gaps which are larger than 10 mm. For the gap larger than 10 mm, we can't go with backer rod. Here we have to go with PU foam. So PU foam, it's kind of, there is a PU foam gun. You spray it between the gap, in the gap between the wall and the window, and then it spreads. Okay, when you are spraying it, it looks like foam. Okay, it looks like foam, but within few minutes, in fact within few seconds, it takes a solid form. Okay, it takes a solid form, and then you have to cut it and make it uniform around your window, and then you can use your silicone. This is the case when your peripheral gap, it's huge. It's more than 10 mm. So now let's start with the process of how to install a window. Firstly, you have to identify the window location, okay? That where is W1, where is W2. You need to keep your window, you need to take your window to the respective location. Here we are talking about a fixed window. Okay, when you are installing a fixed window, then first you need to deglaze it. You need to remove the glazing first. For that, you will be removing your four beads. Okay, let's see once again. So you're removing your four beads. You're removing your glass, and then then the next step is to put the U packer. If you remember that U packer are the packers we are using to maintain the gap between the wall and your frame, and as well as for aligning your window or door or your frame. So now your window is there. So as you can see, here are two packers, and the number of packers and the fasteners will of course depend on the size of your window. So then you insert all your packers, and never, because many people what they do now, they just insert the window first and then they will insert left side, top side and right side packers. Okay, they don't insert the bottom packers, and bottom packers are as important as your other packers. So there should be packers on all the four sides so that you keep a distance between the wall and the frame in at all the four sides. So now you have inserted the packers. Then you have to check that if your frame positioning is perfect or not. You can check the diagonal. If the diagonal measurement is coming perfect, that means the frame is alignment is perfect. And the second way is to use a plumb bob. It's a small instrument which is used to check the alignment of the frame. So if this qualifies the alignment thing, then only we will drill our fasteners. Until you're sure that your frame is in perfect alignment, please don't drill the fasteners. Otherwise what? In case of fixed window, it won't be a much issue, because in fixed window you just need to put your glass and put the bidding. So there won't be much issue in the case of fixed window. But in case of sliding windows, in case of openable windows, please ensure uh, the alignment of the frame before putting the fasteners, because if the alignment of the frame won't be proper, then your panels are not, in case of sliders, your panels are not going to lock. When they will come to one side, then the cams of your SPAG won't be going in the strikers. Especially what happens, the bottom cam and the bottom striker locks, but the top doesn't lock because your sash is not in the straight line. Okay, there is a difference between the line of the frame and the line of the sash. And in case of casement windows, what will happen, that your sash won't be going inside the frame. Okay, it will take some efforts to push it inside and to pull it out of its position. And as well, there'll be also problem in the locking. Its cam also won't go and lock properly in its strikers. So when it's done, now what you have done, you have fixed your fasteners. Then after fixing your fasteners, there is a small thing called fastener cap. Okay, these are small button-like things which you need to put on your fasteners. Firstly, because of the looks, of course, the fasteners, I mean, if they'll be visible, it won't be looking good once, especially when you have a casement window and it's open, or if it's a sliding window. And secondly, so that the water doesn't enter inside the fastener holes, because if the water enters inside, then it will reach your reinforcement, and then your reinforcement could get corroded, or could catch rust. So after your fasteners are fixed, you need to fix the fastener caps, and we recommend that please put silicone before putting the fastener cap, so that that gaps perfectly seals. Okay, and there is no chance that the fastener cap will come out, or there is no chance even a single drop of water can get into the reinforcement chamber through these fastener holes. Then once it's done, then you need to clean the entire perimeter with a blower or a brush, whatever suits you. And then you need to seal the perimeter with the backer rod. If, as I've told you, till the peripheral gap is from 5 to 10 mm, you will go for a backer rod. If it's more than 10 mm, then you will go for a PU foam, and after that you will put your silicone on both in all the four sides, from outer also and from inner also. Okay, you have to put silicone on the exterior side also and the interior side also, and then you can fix your glass, and then with your glazing packers, and then if you can fix your bidding. And please do not forget to remove your uh, protective tape, because in many cases what happens, we forget to remove, because all the profiles have this protective tape, so that it doesn't get any dust or anything, especially in case of course, in case of new profiles. But once your window is installed, please do remove the protective tape, because what will happen now, after some time, because of heat and sun, this protective tape will get corroded. And if the client calls you and tells that please remove this tape after 1 month of installation, I'm telling you it won't come off. Okay, it will break in small parts, and it will be a big trouble for you to remove that protective tape. So once the installation is done, please do remove the protective film and wipe your windows, and then you can test it. But after installation also, please do take care, because sometimes what happens now, you do your best work at the site, and then still the site work is going on, and this what happens to your window. Okay, so it's better that you confirm from your client all the other things are done and your window are installed at the end. Okay, when everything else has been completed, the painting, everything is done, then please try to install your windows. Otherwise this thing will happen to your windows, and then your client is going to call you that please now make everything fine. Then that will again increase so much load and so much work on you. Okay, so this was my today's class on installation. So I have got half an hour more. So we can talk about costing if you want to. So if you want to have a continuation class about costing, then please say yes. If you want me to wind up, please say no. Then we can quickly run through costing thing also. We have got to half an hour more. Okay, we have got two yeses. I need five yes. Okay, come on. Rahul says yes. Ayush says yes. Three more yes. Karan Shah says yes. Come on, two more yes. Where is Ankit Khanna? He was the one. The Ankit Malhotra. He was the one who wanted this class on costing. Okay, Pramila also says yes. And okay, Ayush Khosla says two yeses. Okay. So fine, Ayush has said two yes. So now we have completed our yes. Okay, now it's five. Fine, then we'll go with it. Give me few seconds. Let me just find out where my slides are of costing. But let me tell you one thing clearly. I'm not the perfect person to speak about costing, because that's mostly done by Mario sir. But yes, whatever I know, I can share with you. Just a second, please. I'll stop sharing. Okay. So if you have any questions for that, you can of course ask me. The things which I won't be knowing, I'll ask our experts and then come back to you. Give me a few seconds to find slides, please. Okay. Hmm. So firstly, this presentation, it's not so much exact. It's based on some assumptions of our industry experts. Okay. So it will give you a rough idea about things what you need to do while projecting the cost of your windows. Okay, it can give you a rough idea. So you will know at least a rough way how to calculate the cost. Okay. So and frankly speaking, many things I don't know, but still I'm sharing because this is a slide of Mario. So I just had it, so I'm just discussing it with you. So, what are the main factors which are responsible for your window or door cost that you are selling to your customers? Are fabrication cost. Okay, one of the main thing which we all consider. Fabrication cost consists of your raw material cost. Just a second, let me switch on the pointer. Huh. So it consists of material cost. That means your raw material cost. It will be like your profiles, your hardware, glass, everything will be here. Okay. And then your labor cost and your manufacturing head cost. Material cost here we are not going to discuss because that will entirely depend on which profile are you using, which hardware are you using. So this thing can be easily calculated from whatsoever software you are using. It could be window maker, it could be Orga data, it could be Eva. So any software, so that could easily calculate your material cost. But there's so many hidden costs apart from your material cost, which we can't see. Okay. So in this presentation, we are going to talk about those costs. So let's see. First is, of course, the labor cost. You have to include the cost of the labor which you are paying. So this cost will come under your fabrication cost. Okay. If you remember, I mean, if you know, then apart from your raw material cost, you have to put certain rupees per square feet for your production cost, for your fabrication cost. So in that, a major role is played by the labor cost. Okay. So here we are assuming, because actually the slides I have to also read because I haven't gone through it since a long time. So here we're assuming that we're having average number of 20 in a company. Okay, that's the normal size of a company with 20 number of people working and who are having average salary of 11,600. So if we multiply with number of people, then the total salary of the persons are coming 2,32,000. And it can vary according to your company, whatever. Okay. If you're having 5 people, you can put five, and whatsoever is the average salary, you can keep it, or you can add on all the salaries. It depends entirely on you. And then normally there is one supervisor over 20 people whose salary is around 25,000 rupees. So it will come to 25,000 rupees. So the total salary which you are paying is, I mean, here we are assuming is 2,57,000, and you can change it according to you. And then second thing is your shop floor. If your factory is on rent, then you can see what's the total rent you're paying for your plant. If it's yours, then it's very good. Then you are saving this money. Then electricity bill, whatsoever is coming, you can put it. And then this total is coming to 1,80,000. And if we will add our uh, wages or salary we are paying, labor cost is 257, and then it's manufacturing head cost, overhead cost, which is coming to 180, and total is coming 4,37,000. Okay. So this one thing is done. So what we have added the salaries of the people, the rent we are paying for our unit, and electricity, etc. And in this overheads, you can always count uh, other overheads. For example, if there is a generator, then the consumption of the diesel per month, average consumption of diesel, etc. So whatsoever you think extra things are you are spending on the production unit, then you can add on these overheads. Okay. So now we are here we are calculating the manpower output, that how much output a person is giving. Okay. So please look at it carefully. I'm also looking at it carefully. So there are 365 days in an year. If we minus Sundays, then we come to 313 days. So we are paying for 313 days. And from this 313 days, approximately people get leaves. Okay. So we are deducting it 38 days. Then it is coming to 275 days. And we can't say, okay, if a person is coming for 275 days, then he is giving his 100% to the production. So at least 25% is minus, okay? So nobody gives his 100%. Somehow the productivity it reduces by 25%. These are all assumptions. So what's the actual? So if from actual working days, he's coming for 275 days, of course. But if you have seen a fabrication unit now, then the people, I mean, they work so slowly, they will pick a profile, they will take it here. So the output which they are giving is not 100%. So here we are subtracting from 25%. So we are coming from actual output days is 206. So actual output which we are getting is approximately 66%. Okay. So here we are comparing the fabrication cost for retail and for project. So these are assumptions. Okay. These are not proper figures. You can keep your figures in place of these things. Okay. So possible output per worker. Here we're imagining key one worker is making 730 square feet of window in 1 month. Okay, I mean that should be, but as we have calculated that it's just 66%, so it will come to 480 square feet. Okay, so if we will multiply it by 20, because it is for one worker, so for 20 workers it will be around 9600 square feet. So if we calculate the fabrication cost, so if you remember where we have added our fabrication cost by adding the salaries, by adding the rent, the electricity, the diesel, etc. It was coming to 437. So if we divided by this output which we have got, and it is coming to approximately rupees 46 per square feet. And if we will talk about project, because as we all know, in project the output is more because there are similar size of windows and the designs are also not so complicated, so the output is more. So per worker output which we are getting is 1450. Expected is 450. But as we all know, we get the 66%, so it comes to 960. And when we multiply it by 20 workers, we are getting it to 19,200. And then when we take out the per square feet rates, it comes to 4,37,000 divided by 19,200. It comes to 23 rupees square feet. So in retails, the fabrication cost is coming to rupees 46 per square feet, and in project it is coming to 23 rupees per square feet. Okay, it's not fixed. As I've told you, you can put your values into this. It could vary, it could go up, it could go down. So you need to make the calculations according to your projects and your people. And maybe your people are giving more output than 6%, then you can change that. So this is a mode of calculation that you can change according to your scenario. Excuse me, hello. Was my screen visible to everyone, or was it speaking like anything? Uh, I didn't even see, and I was clicking. I didn't see the chat also. Oof. Okay, no, no, no. No screen is shared. I'm reading the chat now. It's okay. I'll reshare the screen once. Okay. So once again, so let thank God I didn't go much beyond. Okay. So I'm now is it visible, everyone? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So I'll run through quickly. Okay. So firstly, these figures, they are not, I can't say they're concrete. They are based on assumptions of the industry experts. So let's talk about the factors which are responsible. Second. Mhm. For the cost, if we'll consider fabrication costs, the main cost is material cost, the labor cost, and the manufacturing overheads. So material costs, we're not talking because that is based on which profile are you using, which hardware are you using, so that you can easily calculate through your software. So other cost which you need to put apart from your material cost is your labor cost. Labor cost is how much you're paying to your labor. So here we are assuming that in a factory, 20 workers are working and the average salary is 11,600. So it comes to 2,32,000. And there is one supervisor whose salary is 25,000, and of course he is just one. So the total salary comes to 2,57,000. So this thing you can change according to your salaries, whatever you are paying, according to the number of workers in your salary, in your factory. So this would be changing based on whatever you are paying to your workers and your supervisor. Then the next cost which is coming is the rent of the space where you are making your windows. That rent will come here, and the electricity bill which you're paying on the monthly basis, but it will come here. And as I've told you earlier also, any other cost, for example, diesel cost for the generator or any other cost which is incurring, you can add it here. Then your fabrication cost, we're adding labor cost and manufacturing overhead, it is coming to approximately 4,37,000, which can vary according to your inputs. So here we are calculating what is the actual output we are getting from our labor. So there are 365 days in an year. If we subtract Sundays, then the days come to 313. And if we minus the paid leaves, which are, we are assuming is 38, so it comes to 275. So number of actual working days of your labor is 275, but you would have heard when I was telling you that it never comes to the output is never 100%. Okay, so it comes to approximately 75%. So the minus 25%, we are getting 206. So 206 is the actual number of output days. So if we'll divide 2056 by 313, then the output percentage we are getting per worker is 66%. This is an assumption. It's not, I can say it's exact. It is an assumption that it will come to 66%. So maybe you can see that your workers are giving more output, then this could vary. It could go to 75%, 80%, or even 50%. So it can also change according to your workers and your team. Then now here we are calculating cost for retail sites and for project sites. What are retail sites? The villas, the private villas, houses, uh, hotels, schools. These are called retail sites. And projects, the big apartment, the flats which multi-storied buildings are all project. So retail, so here we are assuming that one worker, if he gives it 100%, then he's making 73 square feet of window. Okay. Then, but as we in last time we calculating, it's a 66%. So it comes to 480 square feet. And when we multiply it by 20, because it is for 20 workers, so it will come around 9600 square feet. Then this fabrication cost for retail sites will be approximately 437. This is the figure we got when we add our salaries and the overhead costs. And then we multiply divided by 9600 square feet, then we are getting on retail sites. The per square feet cost is coming approximately 46 per square feet. And in projects, we are assuming that per work output is 1450. So 66% would be coming approximately 960. And then into 20, it will come around 19200. And then when we'll divide this 19200, uh, the total cost will be divided, then it will come to approximately 23 rupees per square feet. So on retail, we can assume that a rough square feet rate for fabrication cost is coming 46, and for project it is coming to 23. And I'm telling you once again, it will vary. It can vary according to your input. So you can just see what is the way to calculate. You can put your actual values into that, and then you can calculate your actual square feet rate, which is coming for fabrication cost. Okay. So here we are talking about overhead costs. There are many costs now because fabric. What happens? 90% of fabricators, what they do, they just calculate their raw material costs, and they put some 25, 30, 40 rupees for the fabrication cost. They put few rupees, 25 approximately rupees for the installation cost, and then it's done. For them, that is the costing, but there are so many costs which we don't notice, which are taking place, okay, which are going from our pocket and we don't even notice them. That is the reason so many UPVC fabrication units are opening every year, and so many are closing also, because they don't even realize that a big huge part of their money is going unnoticed. Okay, they don't even notice, and they don't even charge for that. They sell their windows at such a cheap cost because they think that because they don't consider so many costs, and they think that they're making profits, but at the end they end up making huge losses, and then their plants, they need to just shut it down. Okay, so now other cost which you need to take in account is your office team, your sales employees. Of course you're paying for them, you're paying them, and from where that money will come? That money will come from the projects only, which you're taking from your clients. So you need to put this also in consideration. So your office team, your sales team, your marketing costs, for example, you're giving advertisements, you are going in exhibitions, your brochure, your catalogs, all these are a type of cost, okay, which you need to keep in mind. And there's so many costs in running office like electricity, your printers, your papers. So all these things we have, I mean, just assume that it is coming to 1,87,000. It could be more, it could be of course more, it could be less also. So you can put it according to whatever your sum is coming. Then, so what we have done, so now we have, firstly we calculated our fabrication cost. Now we are calculating our overheads cost. Okay, so overhead cost, what we have done, whatever the sum is coming, it depends on your expenditures. So whatever sum is coming, we are dividing it by 9600 here. As you remember, we calculated 9600 square feet for uh, retail sites and 19200 for your project sites. So here we are dividing it by total number of square feet, and then we are getting it rupees 19 per square feet for your retail sites and rupees 10 per square feet for your project site. Unexpected losses. There are especially in case of our UPVC industry, there are so many unexpected losses. For example, production mistake. Somehow the final measurement guy, he did a mistake in taking the measurements and he sends wrong sizes. And then what happens? Wrong size window is made. Okay. That is a cost of course. But what happens sometimes the production, I mean, before sending it from your factory, nobody notices it that it is a wrong size window. Then it goes onto the site, and after going on the site and while installing it, your installers will come to know, oh my god, it is a wrong size window. And then what happens? Then that window has to go back to the factory, and then a new window is to be made that has to go back to the site. So there are so many costs. First of all, this remaking cost, which you never thought of. Secondly, this transportation cost, which you have never thought of. Thirdly, you promised your client that that you will hand over the site on 14th of October. But now because of this one window, you won't be able to hand over the site on the date. And then your payments also got delayed. So there are so many things which we don't expect. Okay, measurement mistake, production mistake, maybe the size was sent right, but the production guide did some mistake. Transportation damage, many times, especially glasses, sometimes very expensive glasses, they break during the transportation. And then again, the huge pain, not only of reordering and remaking that thing, then the transportation charges are also huge. Site damage, your window could break on the site, or a loss due to handover delay. As I told you, when you won't be able to hand over the site on time, the client will hold your final payments. So because of this, we are assuming that minimum at least 2% of your turnover would be your unexpected losses. Okay. So here we're assuming that the retail price is 500. Actually, right now it is more. Okay, these are as I've told you, this is old sheet, but right now the price would be approximately 6 to 700. Okay, 500 is too less for right now because right now all raw material prices are so high. So if you're going for 500 rupees per square feet for a retail price, and as I calculated, the area is 9600. So total turnover for retail, it's coming to uh, 48 lakhs, and then your 2% would be approximately rupees 10 per square feet. Similarly, for project, it is coming to 6.44 rupees per square feet. So till now we have calculated three type of costs. Firstly, fabrication cost. Secondly, overhead cost. And now thirdly, unexpected losses. So here, of course, easily you can put your turnover into it, whatever your turnover is. And then you can take out 2% of that. Or if you think you should keep it more, then please keep it more. And if you think it's less, keep it less. And then non-performing assets, there are many things, this happens a lot, that sometimes, especially in case of retail sites now, these payments, uh, people do deduct at the last moment. When during the clearing your bill, they deduct some amount without even letting you know why it's done. They'll give some lame excuse that because of these things we are deducting your some money from your final invoice. And sometimes these big huge projects, they shut down in the midway and you don't even know. Sometimes at the last moment, it happens a lot. Even in retail sites, you have to give extra. For example, your quotation was of 10 lakh, 10 lakh and 80,000. Then at the end, the client just gives you 10 lakhs, and that 80,000 you have to forget. So that's also a kind of non-performing assets. And sometimes maybe your window is not working perfectly, then you have to give some additional discounts to your client. So here also we are assuming that these type of things contribute to 2%. So these NPAs for retail, they're coming to rupees 10 per square feet, and for projects it is coming to 6.5 rupees per square feet. So here we are talking about the finance cost. So for your machinery, of course, you would have taken loan, and we never consider that loan as our cost, but the EMIs that we are paying, the installments which are going, they are costing you. So the annual turnover, it is coming to 48 lakhs. No, it's not annual. I think it's a monthly turnover because 48 lakhs for annual turnover is very less. Okay, so this is your turnover. This is a monthly turnover of 48 lakhs for an year. And then it is coming for 75% is the, if it's the, because I'm bad with finance, okay, let me tell you clearly. Okay, so 75% of the stock or inventory of this turnover is and then whatever these bank limits and all. So at the end, let's come to an end. So this finance cost is coming approximately rupees 4 per square feet in case of retail sites, and in case of project sites, it is coming to be 2 rupees per square feet. So this also you can calculate according to you that how much loan you are taking and all. Then this is one more finance outstanding thing which I'm not so good at it. It is coming to approximately rupees 7 per square feet and rupees 6 per square feet. Depreciation, the machinery which you are using, its depreciation, its value is depreciating per year, so that you also need to take consideration. So if you are considering depreciation cost, then let's see how it's done. So here we're taking annual turnover of rupees 4 lakh and 4 crores and 32 lakhs. And then investment is around 5%. So what is why it is doing? Because investment on a plant and machinery should ideally be 10%. And for startups, let's consider it 5% of the annual turnover. So here we're considering that for startups, it would be around 5% of an annual turnover. So if our annual turnover is 4 crores 32 lakhs, then our investment on the plant and machinery is coming around 21 lakh and 60,000. And then we are considering that average life of machinery is 1 to 10 years, but we are taking it 7 years. So depreciation per year is around 4 lakh 11,428, and then we'll divide by 30 for taking in monthly, and then we'll divide by 9,600 for taking out the per square feet cost. So depreciation cost is coming around 3.5 for retail and 2.5 for project. So till now what we have done, we have taken out our fabrication cost, our overhead cost, our fabrication loss, our non-performing assets, our finance cost, our finance outstanding cost, our depreciation cost. Okay. So for retail, it is coming around 99.5, and for project, it is coming around 56.5. So what is this 99.5? Apart from your raw material cost, okay, this let's consider is 100 rupees, 100 per square feet at least you must keep there. Okay, I'm talking about apart from the raw material, and after this cost only, you must add on your margins. Okay, installation cost is different, of course. So your raw material cost, this cost, your installation cost, and then you must add on your margins. Normally, people just take 25 to 30 rupees a square feet, that too just for fabrication cost. There are so many costs, so many losses which we never take in account. That is the reason on papers it always shows a profit. Okay, on papers, if you will open papers of a normal fabricator, na, it will always show profits and a good, so much sales, so much profits. But if you look at the bank account, then there is nothing in the bank account, because there are so many costs which they are not seeing, and their money is draining there. So that is the reason. So especially if you are a new fabricator who is starting from scratch, and the first step you are taking, then please do consider all the costs, and please do plan from the starting, because fabrication, UPVC fabrication looks very easy. Okay, I'm from this industry. I do have my own fabrication unit. I'm not me, my brother. So I know each and every pain, and what are the negatives and what are the positives of UPVC fabrication. So please, the worst part in UPVC window fabrication is it's not organized. The fabricator, the owner doesn't know about sales, what the sales, I mean, he's the only one who is looking into everything. The sales guys also, installation guys also, production guys also. So if from the starting only you will maintain systems, then it will be much easier for you to handle everything. If from starting you won't be maintaining systems for your production plans, for your installation guys, for your sales guys, make proper systems, make proper reporting systems, so that everybody is settled from starting only. Then you will be in a position that in on X day you knows that what's happening in your sales team, what's happening in your production team, what's happening in your installation team. So making process from very beginning is very important. Make systems and proper processes allotted to the people, and people need to work according to those systems and the processes only. So that will help you uh, to manage everything properly. That will help you to save cost a lot. I'll give you a simple example. Okay. For example, what happens in dispatch during the dispatch time, the dispatch team dispatches the material, and they forget to check, because you haven't made a process there that while dispatching the material, you need to check each and everything. Yep, thanks so much. So what happens, for example, while dispatching, okay, and you haven't instructed your team, or you haven't made a system that at the time of dispatch, you must check each and every material, what need to go, and what is actually going. So here you misses just one handle, okay, and the site is very far. You are sitting in Punjab, and the site is of Uttarakhand. Okay. And then your team, they forget to dispatch this one handle. And then this, because of this one handle, or maybe just one sash or one glass which was kept somewhere, and at the time of the dispatch the guy forgot to send it, then same, then this, your site gets delayed, then you need to make an arrangement for these things to go, then again transportation things has to be arranged, then there's so many costs which you never have imagined. Those 5,000 rupees I have to pay extra, and which you never considered. So if you will plan everything, every process, checking, checklist, reporting, then it will be very good for you for future, and then you will be sustaining in future. So my advice for newcomers is from starting, start making systems and processes, and in anything in this development, if you need my help, I'll be there to help you if to how to make the systems. And I think that's all for today's sessions. Yeah, it's 5:09. So I hope the session was good. And I'm sorry because this finance thing, I'm not so good at it. Otherwise, I think you would be understanding. At least you would be having an overview of how to make your costing, right? Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayush Khosla. So that was all for today's session. Anything, anytime you need any help, any suggestions, whatever, please contact me. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye. Have a nice weekend, everyone.